This is my first voiceover video. Kind of just winging it, so please excuse any mistakes I make. I have a few bullet points that I'm going off of, so let's get started now. So first of all, sorry for not posting for so long. I've been busy with school and moving, but to make up for that, I have 4 speed paints in this one video for you. So this first one that I drew was an art trade of a silkworm with a very lovely design. I drew this one a while ago and I haven't posted it, so I'm doing it now, same with the other speed paints. And actually I drew this one 2 weeks ago in one sitting, and now I can see a few mistakes that I've made. The thing that bothers me the most about this is the way I drew her arms. I think they're too small, but since I did this in one sitting, I didn't exactly notice it at first. See the struggle I had with shading later on when I didn't know how to shade her pure white scales, as highlights are very important for me. I drew her in fog to kind of make my shadows a little easier to do, but I still have a very hard time shadowing in pure white characters. But overall I think it turned out quite well in the end. This picture took me 2 hours and 45 minutes to do, which in one sitting is quite a lot even for me. Okay, second speed paint. This was yet another art trade, and this one was with my friend. I drew this character once before on the channel. His name is Chroma, if any of you remember him. I gotta stop drawing pictures in one sitting, because I just don't realize the mistakes I make when I do that. Like in this one, I messed up with the shading, which you will see later, where his body's a lot darker than his head, and that just looks a little off, but it's okay. I tried to make the background look like paint here, which I guess it does, but I think I could have made it a little better. This picture actually only took me an hour and a half, which I was a little surprised, but I guess when I draw something twice or more times, it becomes a little easier. Okay, here you can see how I was messing up with the shading and trying to fix it with lighter shading and then highlights, but I guess you can still see the mistake, but I think it turned out okay. Still like how it turned out. Okay, third picture. Okay, here I decided to redraw a character I got as an adopt about a year ago. I wasn't too happy with the designs, so I just decided to redo it. I decided that giving her a makeover would help, and it really did. I changed her a lot, but she looks a lot better. And one huge change that I did was that she now has paralyzed legs. I do hope that it looks like her legs are paralyzed. I've never tried to draw a dragon limp before. A few of you know that I am writing a small fan story for Wings of Fire. Just my own story, but she's now in that story. She isn't a main character, but she'll pop in and out of the story a few times. I'm actually planning on making my story into a comic if any of you are interested in reading it someday. One mistake that I did is that I drew her tail upwards, which if her legs are paralyzed it wouldn't work, but do not worry, I fixed that later. The way I started her redesign is I drew her old design first and then I fixed it up. So she used to look like that, and then I just made her lighter, added some pink, and just made the design a little more appealing in my opinion. One thing that I changed is that she can't stand the cold like other ice wings. before she has to live outside the Ice Kingdom where she can stay more warm. It took me 2 hours and a half to draw, but at least I didn't do this in one sitting. Okay, now the last speed paint. Now speaking of my story, this is actually the main character. His name is Ash. I was on stream with FantasyArt12 on Instagram. She was drawing things for Goretober, and I was just drawing whatever she threw at me. I've talked about Ash with her for a while. She really likes my character, and so she suggested I just draw some emotions of him. I also drew Dingo in there, but he isn't in the final product. I drew him on paper first as I couldn't exactly record myself drawing on the tablet, but now I can, and here he is. I'm fixing him up. I drew an excited face, a surprised face, an uncomfortable face, and then also a crying face. I wanted to draw more emotions of Ash, but I've already spent 5 hours on this, and I just couldn't find any more motivation to draw anymore. The reason I couldn't find any motivation is because I've spent far too much time on the surprised face. I could not get it right. I've gone over it like 3 times, but in the end it finally looked good. I actually just checked and it's not 5 hours but 6 hours and 40 minutes that I've spent on this, so whoops, that's a lot longer. But it was so totally worth it for the end product. Also, Ash has a birthmark under his chin, so that spot that you'll see on the crying face is not a mistake, that's just where it is. You can actually see me struggling with the horns. I kind of avoided them for most of the time because I just didn't know what shape they were going to be, but in the end they just turned out looking exactly like the sketch. I am working on the prologue and first chapter of the book right now. I'm spending a lot of time on it. I absolutely love writing it, and if you guys really want to read it, then I guess I'll work faster to get it out. The reason Ash is silver colored is because he has no fire. I decided that Skymans with no fire have no warm scales at all. So if I ever draw Sky, I guess I'll draw him silverish, not pale orange. Okay, now for a few announcements. I said at the beginning of the video that I moved, so if you guys like this voiceover video, I guess I can do more of them now that I have my own room. But I will have to work on better scripts because I can't do this with just winging it. I'm also working on finishing setting up my DeviantArt account. I'm just posting all the pictures that I have on it right now because I've kind of neglected it for a bit. But soon I can start taking requests for redesigning characters because I kind of forgot about that. So if you guys want me to redesign your character, then I will soon get that out. I'm also not taking any commissions, requests, or collabs until school is done or until I get social done. Okay, well this is the end of the video, so if you liked what you see, then consider sharing and liking to help out my channel. And if you're new, then consider subscribing if you like what you see. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day!